Okay. Today, my lovelies, we are going to do the other route in the brothel routes. There's only one other one, so you have two options. You can sub or you can dom for them. And we chose sub last time, and we see how well that went. So we're back here. I'm just gonna blaze through. Hello, Mr. Manboy. You came with Lord Kiri before, if I recall correctly. Oh, I remember. You're Lady Bunny, aren't you? I think I'm gonna skip this, actually. Okay. And guide says, it's where you work. Da-da, and I did that last time. And then guide says, can I come back again? I don't have any money, so I can't really go inside, but do you mind if I come by again? Not at all. This he said last time. Oh! Log. A salon, huh. I didn't lie, so I have nothing to feel guilty about, but I couldn't exactly tell her that this is a brothel. Did she say she'd come again just to be polite, or was she... I have to find a way to prevent her from finding out. No. Just one of those big ol' sweethearts. Let me go ahead and skip. I think the next is... he's a smart person, whatever. Next is I'll give it a shot. Don't know what all this has to do with it, but... okay. Okay. Then we get here, we click this. Hello, Mr. Manboy. Oh goodness, Lady Bunny, what brings you here today? I wanted to have some fun, so I came to talk to you. Fun? Is something bothering you? I did that last time. This is happening. I'm trying to, like, not skip too hard. And then... secret? Secret. Manboy, you sure were funny when you were trying so hard to keep Bunny from going inside the brothel. They were walking side by side, Alphani clinging to Manboy's arm. Hey, how do you feel about her? Manboy looked down coldly at Alphani's inquisitive eyes. She's one of my dear customers, nothing more, nothing less. It's so much fun to live your life just according to your desires. Your personality just sucks, Manboy. Hey now! I think you're just a little too uninhibited, Al. And so we skip through this. And I don't know why it's doing this, but alright, we'll do it. I'll play along. I'll play ball with this, I guess. Here we go. Oh. Wait, actually. And this one, we say that he's our favorite. You, I guess. Really? You like me more than Manboy, even though we've only met twice? A mischievous smile appeared on his face as he kissed her on the cheek. Even if you're just saying that to be nice, I'm glad. Thanks, Bunny. Alfani cocked his head and, with a smile on his face, asked Bunny what she was doing. And then all that. Fix his sub-voice. I like hurting people. Do I have to pick? Well, I wouldn't say have to, but it'd make me happy if you did. Why would that make him happy? She groaned a little bit to herself and then took a breath. I guess hurting people? Oh, really? That's kind of surprising. Girls like you are usually the opposite. Fuck yourself. Is that weird? Oh no, I think it's wonderful. Very wonderful. Thanks for telling me. I'll keep that in mind. Well, bye-bye. Bye. Keep that in mind. For what? For when? For later? When they take our V without permission? Gosh. Still bitter. Oh, man, boy, why are you here? Working on your day off? No, I just came up to pick up something I forgot. Oh, you're so forgetful. Oh, yeah, I just saw Bunny. Was that a coincidence? Yeah, I just ran into her while I was taking a little stroll. We even talked about you a little. About me? Oh, don't look so grim. I didn't say anything about how you're a Sasero on your days off and not Manboy. Or wait, was it that Sasero becomes Manboy? Now I'm all mixed up. It doesn't matter, since it has nothing to do with you. Right. The only person I have anything to do with is Manboy, after all. So, my dear Sasero, I hope you're having fun on your day off. Oh my, I've been ignored. Huh. Skip. Yeah. And then... all this happens. We choose this. And let's see, what do we have? Da-da-da! So I wanted to see you. There we go. And they talk about the doctor visits a bit. And then we get the secret. Why, you really caught me off guard. Man, boy, you shouldn't cover someone's mouth with no warning like that. Damn it, how funny. I'm glad you remembered one of my fetishes, but wasn't it a little too abrupt to get into that? I have no intention of appreciating or getting into your fetishes, Al. Al, why must you always tell her things that she doesn't need to know? Doesn't need to know? By whose standards? The owner's? My own. Now, it's not like I have to follow them. I don't like hiding things. But she's just a girl. As a male escort, I see her as a potential customer. Why should I hide that? I don't get it. Come on, tell me. I can't explain. You're always like this, man boy. You never talk about things you care about. Who do you think is being more unkind to her? The person hiding things or the person who wants to tell her the truth? Hmm. That's a little weird. And then do that. I think we're almost there. Yeah. Well, as close as almost there can be. I'd give up. Alright, then we do this. And that skips through. And I say, hey, what's going on? Have you ever touched a dead body, Mr. Manboy? Yes, of course. Corpses are quite heavy, you know. It's a rather curious thing. You might think that they'd become lighter once their life has left them, but they weigh quite a bit. When I handle the dead, I end up thinking about how they live their lives and what led them to their deaths. Oh. Dreadful, isn't it? A bit. Please don't hold back on my account. You are correct. However, you don't have to be afraid. At least not here. I will protect you no matter what, Lady Bunny. You will, Mr. Manboy? I will. Although I am quite limited in my capabilities. That's not true at all. You take care of the flowers and you clean and everything. I think you're an amazing person, Mr. Manboy. Me? Yes. And you talk about all sorts of things with me like this, too. So I'm sorry for coming by, even though I know I'm just getting in your way. I apologize. Oh, no, please don't apologize. You would never... But I can't afford to go inside like Mr. Kiri can. Money. Being able to speak with you like this is plenty, even more than enough for me. How have you managed to slip into my heart like this? Like rainwater seeping into parched ground. Mr. Manboy? No, nothing. Regardless of what my role may be, it doesn't change the fact that I am tainted. So please, don't come here anymore. Huh? You shouldn't come to this place. Why? And then this happens, and all of this happens. And he says, no, legit. Oh! Shoot. Goodbye, Lady Man Boy, why did you send her home? Oh, Man Boy, why did you send her home? Dorian Gray grabbed him by the arm and shoved him into a wall. Manboy coughed from the impact as Dorian pulled a knife from his pocket, holding it to his neck. I thought you knew it was futile to try to hide things from me. Dorian's eyes were dark, hazy, and lifeless. Faced with that gaze, Manboy gulped. She doesn't belong in a brothel. Plus, if it's money you're after, there are better marks. What would you do if I told you that my objective wasn't money? Nothing. I'm a mere employee. What a relief. I almost thought you had developed romantic feelings for her. The knife's blade slid across Manboy's brown skin. A few droplets of crimson blood spilled out. He immediately brought his hand to the wound, staining his white gloves red. You can't seize happiness with those blood-stained hands of yours, can you, little swallow? Dorian wiped the blade with his handkerchief and put the knife away. He shot a soft but ice-cold smile at his employee. Yes. We are both bound by the same chains. Don't think you can slip out of this cage on your own. Huh. That's an interesting way to... That's an interesting threat. Wait, hold up. Like, that's almost implying that Dorian, like, also can't leave if he wanted to. He can't, but you know, it's interesting of him to say that. Because it's not something that I would attribute to that. And then this happens. And then I get let in. And then I go, but I squeak. And then I get let all the way in. And then he takes me to a room. And I lose my virginity. No. Okay, shoot. I lost a lot of that. That includes me, Alfani. Afraid. It's gotten so late. Lord Dorian is unreasonable to order me to prepare 3 bodies in a single day. I guess I'll have to tend to the garden tomorrow and just finish cleaning today. This room wasn't reserved. Why is it? That hair, it couldn't be. Al! Oh, man boy, why do you look so freaked out? Answer me, did you sleep with Lady Bunny? Huh? I asked if you slept with her. Yeah, the owner told me to. Or Dorian. Man boy, sweetie, you look so scary. Why are you mad? She just came to have fun with someone else. So why are you upset? Are you sad? You couldn't understand how someone who's had his wings clipped feels. You just can't. Not with that vapid smile on your face all the time. You're so weird, man boy. Okay. More achy breaky feelings from man boy. Lots of achy breaky feelings. Mm. uh and then wait, what is this one? It's this one's just the establishment that he's covering my eye. I'm gonna do it every time. Are you still upset, man boy? I'm not upset. Then why won't you look at me? I said look at me, Saucedo. Huh? So you finally did it. Please don't call me that. Why not? Do you worry about dirtying your real name? Quite a silly thing to worry about when you yourself are already filthy. Only the man boy who works at this establishment is filthy. He has nothing to do with Saucedo. I see you've managed to keep your sanity by separating the two in your mind. Is it really useful, or does it just get in the way? Well, if you're fine with it, then what does it matter? Take this. Fucking what? You want me to kill another prostitute? Holy shit, we what? I'm sorry, we what? We just dispose of them. Okay, cool, okay. Yes. We don't need defective, diseased merchandise here. I don't care how you do it, just don't dirty the room. Do it quickly as always, man boy. Understood. Oh! Cheery music resumes. Okay. Huh. That's kinda weird. Okay. So I click this. I wound up in the room. Alphani is like, do you like bullying or being bullied? Okay. I guess bullying people. Really? He beamed as he detached the whip attached to his collar. Oh! Taking her hand, he put the end of the lash into it. Okay, alright. I love being on the receiving end. We're a perfect fit. He giggled, giving her a quick hug after pressing the whip's handle into her hand. I wonder what we're supposed to do with this. What am I supposed to do with this? How do we have the sex with this? She looked down at the implement in her hands. It's a mark of my obedience. You can use it or not. Why weren't you using these toys beforehand? Oh, we have other toys too. Just give me a minute. He pulled away from her for a moment and reached for the cabinet next to the bed. Okay. If you press it here, it starts to move. It kind of hurts, but it also feels really good. This one makes you feel all fuzzy, like you're half asleep or taking a stroll in a dream. So which one do you prefer? He looked over his shoulder back at her and gave her an angelic smile, holding the grotesque objects in either hand. I really don't know. Okay. Oh, that's right. Of course you wouldn't, since you've never really done this before. Then how about we try each of them out, Master? Master? Excuse me, it is Mistress. You're the one in control, and I'm the one being controlled. Doesn't Master just fit the mood better? Think of me as your pet, or an even lower being than that. Mess me up real good, okay? Hup. Okay. Very. Uh. Later that night, Alfani was called by the owner. How was she? Well, she was great. I almost forgot I was working. Oh, I can't remember how many rounds we went. I wasn't asking for a review. Sorry, well, she didn't have a brand anywhere. Are you sure of that? Yeah, I thoroughly checked her body while she slept. Creepy! All of the creepiness is happening. She didn't have the mark of a familiar. Her skin is pure white and unmarred. I see. I'm glad to hear that. And all this happens. Now we're here. And all this happens. And secret? Secret. Al, could you stop binding Lady Bunny? Oh, did you see us playing? You're such a naughty boy, man boy. I didn't mean it like that. What I'm trying to say is I wish you'd stop tempting her to stay here. She doesn't belong in a brothel. Tempting her, I never use extortion or anything, you know? I just say that I want her to come back. It's up to her if she does it or not. I think the important thing is that she seems happy. Forcing her would just make things less enjoyable for her, right? You know, forcing her, chaining her in a room deep inside the house and not letting her out and, like, punishing her for trying to escape. She came here on her own 2 feet. She wanted to come to the brothel. I think you're being selfish for wanting to stop her, man boy. There are plenty of ways to force her to stop. I think you should take action on your own before ordering me around. You're such a cowardly little swallow, man boy. Now this happens. Okay. And then we go in here and it should just all be set up. Right? No. We just have the 3 weeks left. We say all this. We say be honest. And then we stop the skipping. No, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop it! No! I fucked up! Okay. No. Okay. No. Good day, my lovely. Back again? Mr. Dorian. Whatever's the matter, you look so glum. I had a chat with Mr. Curie before I came. He asked me if I was coming here. I thought he was going to try to stop me, but he told me to enjoy myself. That certainly sounds like him. Why do you look so sad when you've been given his blessing? I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I see. Are you worried that you're doing something immoral? You needn't trouble yourself over such things. Most people aren't quite so particular. Everyone has some measure of wickedness and darkness in their hearts. You aren't the only dirty one. I believe you should take his suggestion to heart and enjoy yourself. Cast off pretensions about doing only things that are moral and just. Cool. Now that I've thoroughly fucked that up. What? Okay. Okay. Hit this. And then what do we have? We click through here and we say I'm bored with him. Not so much lately. Care to explain? I think I've gotten a little bored with him. He's good at what he does, but it's not enough. I see. Well, everyone has moments like that. He offered her a glass. And this is the part where he roofies me. Roofies. Not sure why that's... I'm really sorry, man boy. And just not fuck up one secret. I never thought you would sleep with her. I also work at this brothel, you know. That includes sleeping with customers. I shouldn't have to tell you that, man boy. And I am not the only one. You too are a prostitute who would sleep with anyone for money. Yes, the customer you betted last night was most pleased with your work, saying you were better than anyone else working here. You ordered me to do it, so I obeyed, nothing more. How handy this man boy persona must be. You're an expert in both love and murder. You even had to kill someone you've slept with before. How divine. I like how obedient you are. The only defiant parts of you are left are your eyes. They are terrifyingly full of hatred for me. It almost seems like it might spill over. You should put them out then. And why would I ever do that? Surely it would be difficult to murder people without eyes. One must take good care of his dolls. Okay. This is all lovely insight into their relationship, but also seems like a lot of work, and then it's too bad, and then this happens. And then we get this ending. Okay, here we go. Let's not hit the skip and let's go through it. Hello, Lady Bunny. She came after all. Welcome, my lovely. Do come in. You've come again. Am I to take that as a compliment for my services? It wasn't enough. It wasn't good enough. Not enough, Dick. Mr. Dorian, you went easy on me, didn't you? Do you mean to suggest you weren't satisfied? Well, for that I must apologize. Today I will serve you along with Manboy. Mr. Manboy too? And then this happens. And then... oh, that's right. Moist loins. Okay. Here we go. It's been quite a while since I've observed your skills from up close. I think you may have gotten better without my notice. Or perhaps it was just our partner. On some level, in the back of your mind, you must have wanted it. Wanted her. I do not. Don't act like I'm like you. How many times must I tell you that we are the same before you realize it? You and I are identical. We're unsightly demons that can only live in the dark. I won't let you escape into the light alone. Did you drag her down into the darkness to toy with me? Don't be conceited, you fool. You may have been the one who created the opportunity, but I am not using her to do anything to you. Quite the opposite, in fact. I'm using you to get my hands on her. People's hearts are like balloons. You try to push them away, but they always come back to you. The thing binding her to this estate is none other than you, man-boy. Now, it is about time to start the day. Shall we be going, my servant? Yes, sir. Huh. Again, very interesting, but I'm gonna be chained to a bed here. Dead. Chains. Secret. Huh. Man boy, can I be with Bunny first? What do you think? That's not my decision. Really? But I thought you're the one who always decides my shifts. Hey, man boy, why do you look so sad? Why does it matter how I look? I don't like it. You're supposed to make people happy, so you have to be happy too. Aren't you happy that she's here? Don't you think it's strange? Strange? Everything in here is strange. Sick prostitutes are tossed out like garbage and killed. If any of the girls get pregnant, they're cloistered away in the one corner of the mansion and their babies snatched away the moment they're born. Though those babies are trained from a young age to work at the brothel in the future. And those children bear the children of various customers, and thus the number of the birds in the cage grows. Is there anything normal about this? I'm pretty stupid, so I really don't know. Even if you think about all this stuff, there really isn't much you can do. It's a lot easier just to go along with the flow. It makes it easier for you and everyone else as well. What's wrong with that? I don't really understand it. Yeah, so bad shit's happening in the, in them there hills. She stirred, letting out a weak moan. Awake, my lovely? Mr. Dorian, what time is it? You don't need to know that, do you? He reached out for her hair when she sat up and ran his fingers through it. Right. She wrapped her arms around him, nuzzling her cheek into his shoulder. She kissed his cheek beseechingly. He chuckled, then turned his face towards hers. Undoing her restraints, he wrapped his arms around her slender waist and pulled her to him. Mr. Dorian. Her arms wrapped around his neck as she brought her lips to his. Her next peck transformed into a lusty kiss. Lusty. She eagerly returned his advances, just as a student would demonstrate what her teacher had taught her. He leaned back when they were done, smiling to himself. The seeds of pleasure he'd planted in her were starting to bloom. Seeds of pleasure. Silver threads hung between their lips, snapping only at length. She licked her lips, as if to suggest to him that she wasn't satisfied. Your lips are so sweet. They make my head feel funny. Were you hoping I'd say there's some sort of aphrodisiac on them? It's just wine. He pressed her into the bed. Meeting her expectant gaze, he pulled his glove off with his teeth. Oh. Okay. So that he could touch her naked legs with his bare hands. His hands slipped from her knees to her thighs, then further still from her thighs to her crotch, and her moist loins. He slid his fingers over her skin, observing her reaction. The moment he touched right between her legs, when he felt the heat from her most private area, he finally spoke. Shoot. What a naughty girl, trying to blame this on an aphrodisiac. It's your fault, Mr. Dorian. He presented the hand he'd been touching her with to her face. She clasped it with both of hers before lovingly taking a fingertip into her mouth. She licked it, wrapping her tongue around his fingers as she nibbled on them like some kind of animal. Okay. This is exceedingly explicit. Yes, it is my fault. This man had taught the innocent bunny many colors of pleasure. Colors. There are different colors now. He'd locked her in that room and spent many an hour on her, dragging her into his world until she'd abandoned all shame and become a slave to lust. Because that's what you do with the ones you love, apparently. According to him, there was no need for shame or guilt related to the act of sexual intercourse, for it was neither a sacred act nor a shallow one. It was simply a form of entertainment. One should simply chase after pleasure as much as they like, to stand on the precipice of desire and happily leap off. Life, sex, and death were all equal, as far as he was concerned. Equal and boring. I guess I'll just have to take responsibility for my actions. He greedily devoured the rare glimmer of curiosity that had sprouted before him. She was like a single unmarked canvas in a gallery of unfinished paintings. Gallery of finished paintings. Sorry. The moment he laid eyes on her, a blank slate, he decided to make her his. And now she was right there, in front of him. Hello? No, okay, nobody around. Good. I can continue to talk dirty. Waiting for the affection of the man on top of her. You are the jewel of my collection. Her body writhed, already yearning for more the moment he cracked open that door of sensuality. For a time, it was impossible to say exactly who was in control. Okay. Cool. Bunny, want to eat together? The sound of her name snapped her out of her daze. How funny. He stood next to her bed, smiling like an angel. The partner she'd made love with until she'd passed out had left, but the marks that dotted her body were proof that Dorian Gray had been there. Yike. Come here, Alfani. She sat on the bed and beckoned him over. Huh? What is it? She grabbed onto the end of the whip attached to his choker and yanked it hard. Oh no. Oh no, don't do that. Closer. Now their noses were practically touching. But when he tried to kiss her, she placed a finger against his pursed lips. Stay. Understanding exactly what she meant, he went down to his knees on the floor. That was adorable. I'm sorry. Wrong mood for that, but... Woof! He barked like a dog and put his hands onto her lap. He smiled happily when she began to pet his head, but then he sat up and leaned into her. He trailed his tongue along her skin, her giggles music to his ears. Couldn't you two save it until after we eat? An icy voice put a stop to their fooling around. Manboy glared at them, pushing a cart bearing their meal into the room. Let's finish this later, okay? Alphani got up and offered his hand to her. Lady Bunny, shouldn't you put something else on? It's fine, there's no point in getting dressed. Yeah, I'm just gonna undress you after you eat anyway, right? They looked at each other and giggled as if sharing a private joke. Manboy sighed as he laid 2 place settings out on the table. Fruit, salad, fresh bread. He set the various foods out onto the table in front of the couch where the two of them were sitting. As Manboy brought over a plate of stew, Alphani let out a little ah and caught his sleeve. Do you have any grated cheese? I can't eat salad without it. Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. Oh, Manboy, I'll go get it. Alphani got up and left the room, humming. The moment he exited the room, Manboy took a seat next to her, taking Alphani's place. With a final cautious look around, he began whispering into her ear. Endure a little longer, Lady Bunny. I'll find an opportunity for you to escape, so... Endure? I like living here. Why would I want to run away? Lady Bunny, please, don't say that. You're being deceived by Dorian Gray. You shouldn't be here. Manboy, do you hate me? Is that why you're trying to get rid of me? No, I adore you, that's why. Then what's the problem? She grabbed his shoulders and pushed him down, straddling his thighs to pin him to the sofa. There was no trace of the bunny he'd secretly yearned for remaining in her expression. All he could see was a woman who had been warped by Dorian Gray. They were simply a man and a woman. While the bonds would have been easy to break with little struggle, his lingering affection for her held him back. Please, stop this. He was just going through the motions. Did he want her to reject him or accept him? What he was saying? He wasn't even sure. Her fingers crept over his body and clothes, toying with him just as she was with his heart. I feel so bad for Manboy. There is no happy ending for this dude. None. I'm back. Huh? What about the food? Are you gonna eat, Manboy? I hate this. Dislike. For all that, it seemed that Alphani had flowers for brains. He wasn't completely clueless. He untied the ribbon in his hair and wrapped it around Manboy's hands. Before Manboy could react, he tied it together, shackling him with the length of silk. Al, what are you... Alphani crammed a piece of bread into Manboy's mouth to stifle his protests. No. Doesn't it feel better when you can barely breathe? She and Alphani looked down at him. It made for an eerie scene. While their faces were clearly different, their smiles were identical. It was as if Manboy had become a sacrifice to some sort of demonic creature. Gracious. Gracious. The bed springs creaked. Bunny and Alphani. They couldn't be sure who made the first move this time, but it wasn't important. She surrendered herself to the comfortable lethargy following the height of pleasure, huddling together to savor the feel of skin on skin as they intertwined their limbs. So cute. Countless marks from their games marred Alphani's skin. Those painful marks seemed ill-suited to his angelic face. Yet he slept soundly, his smile unbefitting of one so heavily scarred. She played with his spun gold hair as she gazed at his sleeping face. He turned over, presenting her with his back. Now she was faced with the mark standing out on his pale flesh. Tempted, she parted his hair and nipped at the back of his neck, causing another red flower to bloom on his white skin. What do I taste like? Now awake, he turned over to face her. Like sweat. That doesn't sound very tasty. Let me cleanse your palate. She could no longer recall how many times they'd kissed. They had slept together more times than she could count as well, which is probably not a good thing. They had felt about as routine as eating or sleeping. Yet her lust was only deepening. She hadn't tired of it yet. Al, you need to prepare to serve customers. Huh? Is it that late already? Going already, Alphani? Sorry, Bunny, work is work after all. After giving her a final kiss on the cheek, he got off the bed and quickly dressed himself. He took a note from Manboy and left the room. Someone else stole Alphani away from me, she mumbled to herself, upset that they had to stop before they finished things properly. It's not his fault. Work is important. Alphani sure takes work seriously. Even though it seemed like Alphani lived a carefree life, he still obediently followed orders. Just like Manboy, he was a cog in the machine that was the brothel. Maybe I should try working. Why? It might be fun to be with someone I don't know. You can't. Lord Dorian would scold you. You're so mean, Saucedo. Please, don't call me that. Okay, then will you finish me off in Alphani's place, Manboy? Fine. As time passed, Manboy had stopped trying to avoid sleeping with her. He just did as she said. She couldn't figure out why he looked so sad, though. It was so much easier just to indulge in pleasure, but maybe he didn't know how to enjoy himself. Dorian Gray and Alphani loved her to bits, but... Are you sexually dysfunctional? Are you... We're just gonna ask this, because even as a prostitute, we're a dumb fuck. Are you sexually dysfunctional, Manboy? Who taught you that word? Alphani. She whispered that to him as he redressed himself, now that the deed was done. Want, greed, this man right within her grasp had failed to satisfy either. Lady Bunny, do you have no desire to leave this place? Are you trying to run me off again? I said I'm not going anywhere. Don't run if you don't want to, but I have a proposal for you. Proposal? You could take control of Dorian Gray like he has of you. Me? Control Mr. Dorian? Haven't you tired of dancing in the palm of his hand? Why are you so defiant, Manboy? This place is so pretty and comfortable. It is only beautiful on the outside. The inside is rotten. I just don't like him. I don't like this Dorian Gray who's broken you. I wish I could have known you. Not as the man-boy who works at this brothel, but as Saucedo. Maybe I could have saved you from this darkness. You're so weird, man-boy. There's no darkness here. This is a wonderful place. I am grateful for the small mercy that you feel that way. I said before that I adored you. But the girl I see before me now isn't the girl I fell in love with at first sight. You've been warped and defiled by that man's ideas. Yet I remain a fool. I can't bring myself to give up on you. So, I would like to free you from that man. Dorian Gray's hands. You're not worried that I'll tell Mr. Dorian on you? I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I'm prepared for that possibility. All right, I'll play along. But I have one condition. Condition? Once you've got your revenge against Mr. Dorian, become mine. And I don't want you just for show. I want every last part of you. Very well. I will offer up all that I am, body and soul, to you. Oh shoot, is he gonna get a happy ending after all? That might make all of this shit worth it. It would all be well, maybe not all of it. A dark, gloomy world lay before him. Several rays of light tore through the darkness. They were reddish-white in color. Soft sound hit his eardrums as if greeting him. And then he was pulled from the dream into reality. The smell of fresh sheets tickled his nose. He vaguely remembered falling asleep in a room that wasn't his. I see you're up, Mr. Dorian. Bunny's voice descended upon him. Something felt off to him as he lifted his head. Where am I? He must have been drugged. Dorian Gray tried to sit up, his mind still foggy. I'm tied up. What is the meaning of this? The cord binding his body creaked along with the bed springs. Good question. I'm sorry. It was too complicated for me, so I don't know. Bunny sat on one corner of the bed. He giggled, looking at Dorian. But Bunny's little plan sure sounded fun. I'm sorry, sir. Plan? I have one thing I'd like to ask you, Mr. Dorian. She stood up in front of him. In her hands was something wrapped in cloth. He gulped. He had a sinking feeling about what was to come. What is this painting? Oh, shoot! That's... Bunny tore the cloth off with one hand. Dorian quickly averted his eyes. Answer me. Where on earth did you find that? You should be more familiar with its hiding spot than anyone. Man, boy, you told her. Who else would have? You kept this in the storehouse that you trusted me to manage. Do tell Lady Bunny precisely what this painting is. I want to know too. It must be interesting if you're so scared of it. I refuse. Mr. Dorian. Oh, Mr. Dorian. We just can't have that sort of attitude. She set the painting up against one of the poles supporting the bed's canopy, then stepped in front of Dorian. She reached out and grabbed his neck with both her hands, slowly pressing her thumbs into the hollow of his throat. Weren't you the one who taught me to open my mind, Mr. Dorian? Don't you think it a bit unfair for you to not be practicing what you preach? Tell me, why is it that you hate that portrait so? What is it that makes your beautiful face warp so? Bunny, I think that's enough choking. He's not used to this kind of play. He'll faint. I mean, he's usually a top, right? Good point. Thank you for the advice, Alfani. You're very welcome. He gasped for breath when she finally released him. Manboy smiled at the state his former owner was in. That painting is your everything, isn't it, Lord Gray? Lord Dorian Gray. Manboy. That portrait contains all the sin and evil you've committed. It's what allows you to live peacefully without a shred of guilt, no matter what atrocities you enact. I imagine you can't bear to look at it. When I was putting this portrait away in the storehouse, you told me that your own portrait was the most ugly, detestable thing in the world. You took that loathsome item and locked it up in the storehouse so no one could see it, then used some trick to prevent anyone with the brothel's brand from opening the lock. Even I couldn't enter the storeroom until today. However, Lady Bunny could, since she hadn't been branded yet as part of your precious collection or whatever it was. How foolish of you, Lord Dorian Gray. Are you frustrated, Mr. Dorian? Yes, I like that face. I love it. She held his face in her hands, showering it with kisses. She bit his lower lip, warping his gentlemanly face into something unbecoming. She smiled as she wiped the blood from her lips with her tongue. What do you want? Everything. Everything? Manboy promised he'd give all that he was to me. I'm sure Alfani will too. He's a good boy. All that's left is you, Dorian Gray. I want you to devote yourself to me as well. I want to control both you and the brothel. Dorian's eyes flew wide open for a moment, but then he cackled. Very well. That sounds entertaining. I'll give you what you want. Really? Yes. I welcome your degenerate games. I shouldn't be bored. Further, I'm the one who helped you fall. What else can I do but accept the consequences? I'm sure Manboy, who has invited me to this abyss of despair, must resent me. I promise not to resist. Couldn't you untie me? So, what you gonna do, Bunny? Very well, untie him. You have marks on your skin, owner. Actually, you're not the owner here anymore, I guess. What should I call him? Give him a new name. There's a button that pops up to give him a new name. What do I do about this? I'm sifting through the guide. Like, help me. There's nothing I can do about this. I guess I could just fuck about. I'll just fuck about. Yes. You can call him Big D. Oh, okay, I'll call him that from now on. Big D, show me proof of your loyalty. As you wish. My body may not deteriorate, but these peaceful days are killing me inside. My senses are dull, and my passion is gone. I have become a living corpse with nothing to hold on to. Poison, punishment, anything stimulating is an aphrodisiac. Bury yourself in the holes of my heart, my sinful beauty. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, mate. Hell yeah. Oh. Welcome, Lord Kyrie. Good day. Is the salon open? Yes, everyone is enjoying themselves. Really? Might I join the gossip circle? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Dorian Gray as of late. Has he been ill? No, he is quite well. Has he simply abandoned his post then? How shameful for the owner of the salon not even to make an appearance. Owner? Oh, I see you haven't been informed, Lord Kyrie. The proprietor of this establishment is not Lord Dorian Gray. Then who is it? Allow me to introduce to you this establishment and my new owner, Mistress Bunny. I dig it. Almost makes up for everything. I dig it. Cool. That's Neato Skeeto. We've got all the CGs. And that's that. We've got ourselves the endings of the brothel routes. Well, the good news is we don't have to come back to it. After this, it's all less fucked up. I hope. I assume. I perhaps assume quite too wrongly. But, you know, it's okay. We made Dorian Gray our bitch. And he is now Big D. So, yeah. Everybody, let's raise a glass to that, and y'all have a nice evening.